Hello guys, good morning. It's Turu here and thank you for visiting my channel. Today I wanted to share things I wish I know before moving to Canada. And disclaimer, this is only my personal experience. I just wanted to give you some kind of awareness that might happen to you too if you plan to move to Canada. To me, I am just one of the guy who dreamed to have a better life, and I got lucky to move here. And as I can say, Canada is one of the best country, or to me, this is even the best country for me because of the nature. I love nature. I enjoy nature and I love visiting places, and Canada is the best place for me to enjoy this type of things personally. But the things I wish I know, like before I move here, as having a working visa, and the things that I didn't know is my employer is asking their foreign worker a long hours without pay. Like, to me, I did not expect that I have to work like 3 days. My first 3 days of work is without pay. This is the things that I wish I know before, that employers here in Canada are also doing these things. Based on their papers, they are hiring workers abroad because of lack of workers here. But I think in my own experience, the things that they didn't like with the local workers is most of the local workers here, they love to have a break, like smoke break, lunch break, and another smoke break. They're just having too many breaks, and Canadian employer don't like that. That's I think the reason they hired a foreign worker, to follow the way they like they wanted worker to work for them for free. And I didn't know that, and I'm not saying that all employers are like this. It is just, to me, having this employer who are asking me or asking my fellow foreign worker to work really hard, work longer hours without pay. Like, to me, I worked 3 days without pay. I worked 90 hours, paid only 60 hours, and I didn't know about this when I come here. So that's the things that you have to know and think about. You have to know your contract, you have to know everything. Is this employer has a good reputation? Because I don't want you to come here with this type of employer. Like the things that happen to me at first, like most of my co-worker left and I'm the only one remain to that company. To me, I didn't know that I can find another employer and change my permit. Yes, to me, I just wanted to stay work and hoping for the best. And my employer actually promised me the moon, but end up asking me to work under the table. Like, he is asking me to work illegally, and that's the time I finally quit and try to look for another employer. Here in Canada, if you think that you're being abused with your employer, if you have a working permit, and if you know someone who can offer you what they call right now is LMO, that's the things that you have to get from your province and from the country. Like, they will provide you some kind of labor market opinion, as they call it. You have to get this, and you have to go to the US borders, because this is the procedure. Like you cannot, even if you have a legal working permit, but your employer is very abusive, or like me, my work permit also almost expired and my employer wanted me to work illegally. So I was really worried at that time already. So I said I cannot work for you illegally. And the first things I did is I called the immigration, and I mentioned to them what are the options, what are the things that I can do. And the things that the immigration said to me is, the only option for you is to go back home, go back to your country. And like, to me, I just still hope that I can still find a better life here. Like, I am already here, and I am still motivated to do things to have a better life. But I always recommend, guys, for you to call immigration. They will not help you, for sure. They will not help you, but in the long run, like when you get another LMO, that's the time I think that, because that's what happened to me. Like I actually quit from my first employer because I don't want to work with them illegally. So what I did first is I applied visitor's visa, because as long as you have a legal visa in Canada, you are to be considered as implied status, something like that, if you have an application. But unfortunately to me, things did not work. Like, I tried to apply for immigration at that time, but I was not approved with the province and also federal. So I have nothing. So my only option really, I only have like a month to find another employer to provide me another work permit. And I was so thankful. I was lucky that I did finally get another LMO and get another work permit. So if these things happen to you guys, don't lose hope. You can still find another employer, and if they are willing for you to provide this LMO, you can still apply for another work permit. But of course, there are people, I know people that they just believe their employer. Like, my advice to you, if the situation is like this, in my situation, that your employer will tell you, I wanted you to work under the table, my advice to you is just trust your gut, because they will still promise you. They will say, I wanted you to work under the table or work illegally, but we will help you to become resident in Canada. And my advice to you is just to trust your gut. Just be strong. Don't be afraid. Call immigration. Tell them this is your situation, because that's, I think, helping me in the long run. Because when I got another LMO and then I applied another work permit, they're not giving me a hard time, because even in my situation that I don't even have the work permit at that time, but I already applied for a visitor's visa, they're not giving me a hard time anymore. They provided me work permit immediately. Unfortunately, some other people, some other foreign worker who believe this technique from Canadian employer, that blah blah blah, these things, we will help you, things like that, they believe on that. They still stay and they still work without permit. So what happened to them? They receive a deportation from immigration, and that's very unfortunate. So here, if you are already here as a foreign worker and you are already here in Canada, don't be afraid. Try to look for people who can help you, or like employer who can help you. Don't lose hope, just fight. Like that's to me, that's my way. You will encounter some people, like to me, I encounter some people, they said, yeah, I have a work permit here, you come here, because you have to look for another employer. In my case, I have no choice. I have to look for another employer. I have to pay bills. I have to pay rent and everything like that. And it's not easy without a job and paying all the bills like this. And people are offering you. To me, someone offered me, oh, I have a work permit, come visit to my office. And there I arrived to their office. They're asking me to pay something, blah blah blah, and after I pay everything, they said, oh, we're still waiting for the paper. So that might happen to you too. So my advice, be strong and ask help from your friend. Have a friend here, and you will get a permit if you really look for other employer who can help you. And the things also, second is like housing rent. Like in my previous experience from other country, I was recruited from an employer, and we arrive at the country, we already have a condominium, we already have a place to live and pay. In that experience, compared to Canada, here they will look for a place for you, but it's really depend on the people. I think, like, my point is, everything is expensive here, even rent. Like most of the foreign worker I know, they are paying 700 per month. That's how expensive it is, and it's not even a room, they are sharing room. And yeah, we are getting only like 1,200. To me, I work in food industry. Most of my friends working also in food industry, and the maximum payment we receive every month is 1,200. That's the highest, actually. Like, sometimes they provide us less hours and they pay us less, even we work longer. So that's the things that you have to know, and you expect that this might happen to you, and you cannot say anything. Like, you cannot complain. To me, if I complain, they probably not provide me an hour. Like, how can I pay my bills if they will not provide me an hour? Or if you don't complain, they will ask you to work longer with less pay. That's really things that happens here, and I hope that some things will change in the future. But that's what happened to me and my friends. So that's the reason why most of my friends, like, we arrive here, like, we're almost 7 workers, and I'm the only one left in the company, because to me, I don't know, like, lucky for them, they got another employer. But to me, I stay because I don't know at that time. And that's what happened to me, and it's a big struggle. I keep looking and looking for employer. So, like, that's the things that you have to think, that the rent is really expensive. Like, my friends paying 700 per month, like, it's more than half of their salary a month. Can you think about it? You have to pay this amount plus all your bills, plus all your food, everything like that, and you have no choice. You cannot work in other employer because you are bound with your with your permit. So this is the things that I wish I know before moving to Canada. To me, I got lucky because I only pay 300 per month, but I have no room. I sleep in the couch. So at least I'm not paying 700. 700 is just too much to pay. To me, I don't mind sleeping in the couch, but paying 300 without a room is kind of still, to me, unfair. You know, I expect Canada has a better laws, and, you know, things like that. But that's the things that I didn't know when I moved to Canada compared to other country. It is expensive here. Food are expensive, rent are expensive, and also depend also on your location. To me, I work 45 minutes to my work and 45 minutes back to my place to sleep and things like that. So these things that might happen to you too when you move to Canada. And next is uniform. Uniform, guys, in my experience, like to me, I walk 45 minutes going for work, and to me, I don't want to, you know, rush when I arrive at my work. I wanted to prepare everything. Like I wore my uniform already, and that's the things that I didn't know. Never wear your uniform before coming to work, because in my experience, like to me, I am already wearing my uniform and walking, and some people are shouting me, go back to your country, we don't want you here. That's the things that you might experience too. I experienced this, and that might experience you. You might experience this too, because that's happened to me. Like they shouted me that go back to your country. So, but to me, I don't mind. I just think that they are just an ignorant people, you know, things like that. But in a long run, really, guys, like I waited in a train station. Someone attacked me because I am wearing a uniform. Someone attacked me. Like that's the second experience, and the third experience also is someone attacked me inside the train too. So these things that I didn't know at first, and I realized that if you are a foreign worker wearing a uniform going to work, I don't really recommend this, because Canadian also have a tough situation in life. They have difficulties also, and you as a foreign worker who are wearing a uniform and have a work here, you are now the reason, you are now the threat of their suffering. So my recommendation, never wear a uniform when you come to work. This happened to me, and this might happen to you too. I'm not saying that really this is really the things that's going on here. I am just giving you awareness that this might happen to you too, because it happened to me many times just wearing a uniform. So there are really a struggle. I still enjoy life here, even if this is the situation. You might feel a unique situation, because even me, when I become an immigrant here, my first option really, because like as a foreign worker, that you have no choice to work for other company, you get really less, like below cost of living. Like it's just so hard for you to afford things here, like rent, like food, like clothing. you have to pay all of this by yourself. And that's the things that I wanted, to recover. That I wanted to like, for me, working 4 years in this food industry for nothing is to me a waste of time. So when finally I become an immigrant, I decided to look for training courses that might help me in the future, that I might get a job with better pay. And yes, that's what really happened. Like, I did finally get a job, better salary, and I was so happy. I was so glad that I finally get a job. All my dreams will finally happen. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to save. That's all in my mind. I am very, very motivated to work, even it's tough. It's really tough to work. Like, to me, I work in the field. Like, you have to work 12 hours in the field, summer and winter. Can you imagine that you work negative 35 degrees working in the field? It's really, really cold. And as a foreign look person, yeah, the things that racism really exists in Canada. That's I can say. Like, I'm not saying that all of them are racist. There are so many people who are polite. There are so many people who are willing to help you. I have many local friends also who are Canadian. But there are really people who really hate you of what you are. Like, even though I am already an immigrant and went to the job, like, it just, you know that they hated you. They know that they don't want you there. Like, to me, we traveled with the truck. I am in the passenger area, and when there are other truck going for work, they're asking me to hide. Like, why are they asking me to hide? Like, they don't want other workers there to see me working there, And to me, I don't really mind about it. I have my own dreams in Canada. I wanted to have a better life in Canada. But you are now here in a situation. Like, my situation is like this. Canadian received $500 per day working in the field. To me, I was paid only 300 or less, depend on the employer. So you are now like being baked because local workers here think that you are the threat because you allow employers to pay you less, getting me as a victim also from an employer who racialized me as a worker. They paid me less, and now this fellow worker think that I am a threat because I allowed employer to pay me less. So they wanted me gone to the company. So this is the things that might happen to you too. It happens to me already, and these things might happen to you too. And to me, I don't really care about them. To me, like, I hope that they will understand someday. That's what always in my mind, because I am in a like sandwich situation that both sides are like, I cannot understand really. Employer paying me less, and also worker hated me because I allowed my employer to pay me less, and they wanted me gone. Like, if you can imagine that I am lifting a really heavy pipes, 12, like almost 12 foot high pipe, and it's really heavy. They just suddenly drop, guys. Like, we are lifting, like we're lifting the pipes and they just suddenly drop the pipe to you. That's really scary. You feel numb, and it's just very dangerous to work with these people. To me, I really don't mind working in the field. I even enjoy seeing moose, bobcats, and deer. I really love to see this working in the field. What I'm really afraid is my co-workers. They are very dangerous guys. If you have a foreign face working with these people, they are very dangerous. They will find you to kick you out there. I was bullied so much, like they even what do you call this, locked me in what they called shock. They said, can you clean the shack? Well, to me, I followed. I'm a worker. I followed, I cleaned the shack, but they locked me inside the shack. That's how crazy things that will happen, that happen here, that happen to me too. They are even like sometimes making jokes, making fun of me, touching my private part. Like, I don't really understand that. I don't experience this in any other country, my old country, my home country, other country which I work to. I never experienced that. I experienced it here, and that might happen to you too. You might experience it to you. And now the things that I was so afraid of was finally happened, really. Like, I am now a disabled man here, but yeah, it's just unfortunate that these things happen to me here. I still love the country. I don't mind those people really who make my life miserable and make my life very difficult. I still love the country. I still hope that I might have a better life in the future. I still don't lose hope. I still struggled even in my situation. I have a lot of struggle more right now. But I have to survive. I have to find ways. I have family back home to support. I have to support myself here. I have to pay my bills and everything like that. And I don't want to discourage you. I just wanted you to be more positive, or maybe things wisely. If you are in a situation already that might endanger you, maybe, like, to me, I have no choice. Like, if I come back to the working place, which I get only very little salary, and I'm not able to afford my bills, or I have to work here getting better salary, but I am really in a dangerous situation because these people are thinking that I am taking their job. It's tough, but you have to be strong. You have to fight, and like, you really have to fight every day of your life here. And I hope that things will work well for you. If you are here already in Canada, welcome. We want you here. We love you to live in Canada, and hoping you to have a better life. And yes, the reason I shared my experience, because these things happen to me, and this might happen to you, and I wish that these things will not happen to you. Like, it's scary life. Things is scary sometimes, but you have to fight things about, like, this is a reality and you have to fight for it. So yes, and thank you very much for giving time for my things, life things here. Thank you very much for listening my experiences, and I hope you get a little bit of idea. Like, you have to be tough. That's my point here. You have to be tough. If you plan to move to Canada, prepare yourself physically, emotionally. You might experience these things. Don't be scared. just fight, never stop fighting life, because wherever you go, you have to fight. All I can say, if you are here in Canada, life is, to me, beautiful. All the things that you can see, I love snow, I love nature, and these things makes me happy. Even those things, those bad experience that was happened to me, I still looking forward to have a better life and still fighting. And again, thank you so much for listening for my experience, and God bless and wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye bye.